afternoon, ladies. You know what day it is. It is Friday. I know people always say, thank God it's Friday. Well, we say thank God it's Friday for different reasons, don't we? We say thank God it's Friday because it's the RoyalTea Talk Show Friday. It's that kind of Friday. It's where we do everything and that pertains to us women. We chat about everything that pertains to us women. We talk about how we could get those finances better. How we could get the fulfillments that we deserve in life, because we get to a particular age, baby. We don't want nobody to stress us. We can't afford that. So grab a friend, let them know that RoyalTea Talk Show is on, and we are about to dive in deep. Talking about healing to live. Now, let me not say too much because my girlfriend is about to come on here, and we have been, chatting and doing business and never really got the time to talk to one another. So it's going to be interesting up in here, okay? So grab a friend, let them know that RoyalTea Talk Show is on, and I will see you in a few minutes.
Get ready for the RoyalTea Talk Show with host Portia Basham, the podcast designed for women who are looking to be inspired, motivated, and encouraged. Whether you're just starting out in your career or raising a family, the RoyalTea Talk Show has something for you. This is your opportunity for empowerment and affirmation. Get blessed with amazing stories from women of all walks of life who want to share their truths and victories and impact the lives of women everywhere. This is your cordial invitation to join us as we sip tea, chat, and empower each other on the RoyalTea Talk Show and podcast with your host, Portia Basham.
Good afternoon, ladies. Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome to the RoyalTea Talk Show. This is where we come into the royal courts. Yes, we meet in the royal courts and we teach, empower, and give you the affirmations you need to be who God has called you to be, right? Even whilst you're a mother, even whilst you're the friend, the daughter, the wife, listen, God still gave you an appointment and things to do. So you got to still show up and show up great, okay? So grab a friend, let them know that RoyalTea Talk Show is on. And listen, whilst I'm trying to do this podcast, this little boy is walking through my office, okay? Mommy's jobs are never done up in here. I want somebody to tell me when, because I still call my mama and say to her, listen, these grandbabies, you gotta come get those grandbabies. We still do it, ladies, we do. So my son just walked into the studio and I'm going to make sure I give him at least 2 seconds of attention. You know those eyes we give our children when we say, like that, and we whip them with our eyes without even touching them. Well, baby, that's about me in a few minutes. So grab a friend, let them know we are here. Grab your cup of tea before I start to 1 second. Zachariah, here's your juice. Go play, baby. Go play. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for the juice that saved the day. All right. Yes, the juice just saved the day, baby. The juice just saved the day. So grab a friend, let them know we're here. Grab your cup of tea, your lunch. You know how we do on a Friday. And let's get started. So for those who are new to our channel, this is the RoyalTea Talk Show. This is where we discuss everything that encompasses ladies, everything that encompasses us women, our family, our faith, our finances, our fulfillment in life as we get older and evolve. And I am your host, Lady Portia Basham. I am your brand and business strategist. I am your 3-time best-selling author. Oh my God, drum roll for that, baby. Come on. I'm an international speaker. I'm a minister of the gospel. Okay, minister of the gospel. I take that one with listen, I take my hat out to God for entrusting me with his word to teach his women the word of God. But I am the minister of the gospel. I'm the founder of She Ministries. We are an online community that helps leading ladies as yourself in society to balance life with business, balance life with children, balance life being great, baby. But in the process, we get to dive down deep into the little secret struggles of life because we all have that. We all have it where we show up great, but then we have the things that hurt us. We have the things that we cannot control. We have the things that we have no idea what to do with. Okay. So this is where She Ministries come into play. But one of the things I enjoy doing the best as a business owner, I love helping ladypreneurs as yourself. Okay, I help you unleash that inner boss lady quality, create the life that you've always desired, and help you transform that business and life for better according to biblical principles. So today we have the honor of having Miss Cheryl Mazique. Now, listen. Every time somebody comes on here, I mess up somebody's name. I mess up either the first or the last name. God help your child. But I always ask before we come on here, I say, baby girl, could you tell me how you pronounce your name correctly? And let me tell you, by the time I come back on here, it has gone out of the window. But it's all right. She's going to correct me when she comes on here. Yes, she loves me so. But she's the CEO of Ladies of Faith Over Fear. You heard that choice of word? Faith over fear. That right there is a testimony. It's a sermon. It's a chat. It's a conference all by itself. Faith over fear. Okay. And we get to speak with her. But today we are going to dive into what it means when one says healing to live. She's going to dive into that with us today. And then we're going to talk about the priorities of how we could have that well-balanced life. That holistic, well-balanced life. She's going to dive into that. So before I bring her on, let's just sit here for a minute and hear our first ad for the day. Yes, your girl is moving on up, baby. We're moving on up. We got ads going on up in here. So let's run that ad, and we are going to be right back with our guests for today.
Looking to get your business moving in the right direction? Great news! Portia Basham, brand and business strategist, is your solution. Portia has helped a number of businesses see immediate results with her business and brand strategies. Let Coach Portia craft a clear and concise plan for your business, a plan uniquely crafted for your individual business needs. Don't hesitate. Contact Coach Portia now to schedule your brand strategy session.
Fantastic. Ladies, if you are ready to put your ad out there to let people know who you are and where they could find you, come on in. We could help you build that ad as well and to have you, advertise on our platform. So listen to me. I have all the excitement in the world when I make up my mind. But today, I get to chat with you because, we've been doing business for a hot minute. You've been trying to get me to snatch that waist. And the more I snatch it, the more the waist comes out. I don't know. The more I pull it together, baby, I walk out of the door. Hey, and I come back and I go, Cheryl, you got to help. But Cheryl, it is an honor to have you on here, baby. It's an honor to have my, my woman that always tries to bring me together on here with me. So tell the audience a little about yourself. And then we want to know a fun fact. We want to know a fun fact about our guest speaker today.
Okay, awesome. First, let me say thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited to be on the show today. Like Ms. Portia said, we have been getting together for years, right? And haven't had the opportunity to actually work with each other. And so I'm so thankful and grateful for the opportunity. You guys, my name is Cheryl Mazique, and you absolutely said it right, Ms. Portia.
Oh, listen. You owe me.
You said it right, my queen. And so I am the CEO and creator of Ladies of Faith Over Fear, which is an organization, a ministry that help women to truly overcome their fears and tackle the trauma that is holding them down and keeping them stuck in bondage and helping them to release that and heal to live the life of purpose that God has called them to live, right? And I do that through workbooks, courses, conferences, and retreats, you guys. And so I'm super excited. But not only do I do that, I am a wife, a mommy of 5. I'm still in corporate America. I'm in my process of building my platform and truly building a stable foundation as I transition to be a full-time entrepreneur and kingdom builder. And so I am a published author as well. I have 2 books that are published out there. And I am so excited because the most important role that I love as well is being a child of the Most High and
Yes.
being a marketplace minister. So I'm so excited about that. And so a fun fact about me is, as you can see, I am African American, but I cannot dance. I have no rhythm to save
Oh
my
my
life,
God,
right?
no.
So I just
You should not be saying that so loud. No way, baby, baby.
I
Maybe
know,
you're
but
gonna have to swear to the left and the right for something.
I just have that 2-step, I have my 2-step and I do my 2-step everywhere I go. So it's all good. I love to dance, but I don't know how. So that's my fun fact.
No. 2-step, baby. We're gonna have to add a few more steps to that. Make it 4 steps, 6 step. We're gonna.
I try.
You know what? Out of all the fun facts of my guest that has come before, this one right here, this one takes the cake, because to not have the 2 steps going on, right, baby? I don't know. I mean, we're gonna have to talk to your mom and your papa, because they should have at least had some form of dance classes for.
I know. I had swimming lessons. I had all kind of lessons, but dance lessons was not one.
Was not bad. Oh my goodness. Well, you know what? It's okay. 2 steps will make it do. All right. We'll make it
do what
do
it
for
do.
2 steps. Yes. So I'm super excited to have you on here. And we're going to dive right into our conversation, because when we spoke for a little bit, we were talking about healing to live, and a lot of people out there would just take it for face value. Oh yeah, well, maybe once, if I'm sick and I get better, I'm just leaving. I'm happy to be to leave. But then you go way deep into that. So today, what I want you to do for us is to explain to us what it means to say healing to live, and then let's look at it also. And I'm under the assumption we're going to look at it from a holistic standpoint. And a lot of people show up and say, "Hi, Dr. Kimberly." A lot of people show up and think holistic is just about plant-based and all of that. But then we want to know how we could implement it. But let's not go into that yet. Let's talk about what it means for when you say healing to live.
Okay, so what I mean when I say healing to live is truly doing the self-work, right? Let's talk about myself. One day I took a look at myself in the mirror and I didn't recognize who I was. I was looking at myself, but I did not recognize who I was mentally, physically, emotionally, just spiritually, completely. And so that led me to understand that, hey, something is wrong, right? Yeah. And just because we talk about healing, it's not about being sick, but making sure that you're whole. You're whole in every single area of your life. And so I understood that I had to do some self-evaluation, right? And look at my life and see, how did I get to this point of being stuck, in a point of being in a place of trauma, right? And so I had to go back to my history and where it started off. It started off in childhood. I've had some childhood trauma. I have some things that affected me in childhood. But one of the most major impacts that I dealt with in my childhood was being a teenage mother, right?
Yes.
I had my first child at 15. I got pregnant at 14. Had my first child at 15. And so that opened up the wounds of being ashamed.
Yes. And it holds you for your years, even after the fact. Yeah.
Absolutely, because you're still a child, right? And so things that you hear, people, adults say is very impressionable to a child. And
Yes.
so, I heard the things like, you've messed your life up. It's the end of the world. Like, I'm the being a Jezebel. Yeah, I say in the Bible, right? I say that term so that I won't say something else, right? But hearing those things, it make a major impact on your life. And then you start to believe those things, right? They were projected onto you. So unpacking that suitcase of the trauma that I've experienced. Then from there, going into life and having different relationships and not only having my childhood trauma go into those relationships, but I've had multiple relationships where I've had infidelity that came into play. And so that made a major impact, which led to the trauma that I started to experience in my adulthood, right? And understanding that the things that happened to me in those relationships wasn't my fault when it comes to infidelity. But when you are a broken woman, when you haven't healed, you project and you take on the ownership of somebody
Yes.
else's mistakes and somebody else's decisions, and
Yes.
you bring that onto your own life. Can you relate? How many women can relate to that, right? And so after that, I also had to take that out my suitcase. That was
Oh,
something that was in the suitcase, right?
yes.
And then the last thing I would say that was probably in the suitcase was just the overall effect.
Mhm.
How I allowed those things to take on to my well-being, because it's put me into a depressional state, right?
Yes.
Of taking on all of this trauma and not understanding how to release those things, not understanding how to let those things go, and not understanding that those things do not define who I am, because I was allowing all of the things that I've been through to define who I was as a
Yeah.
woman, as a wife, as a mother. And so understanding that those things were things that I needed to heal from, and that I can heal from those things. And it's all about a choice. And so that's how, I understood that things outside of being sick, you still have things that you need to heal from.
Yes. Yes. I love the way you said you were unpacking your suitcase. My analogy of it was you in this boat. I always say life is like a boat. You sailing down, that nice street, what do you call that, lake or sea of life. And what you let into the boat could determine whether the boat stays afloat or whether that boat starts to sink.
Mhm.
And sometimes we have to unload our boat sea of life. So that way we do not find ourselves sinking.
Mhm.
We come into any relationship with a whole bag of stuff.
Oh, bad girl.
Until we tell the other person what you're walking in with, they have no clue what you just walked into the relationship with. And that goes for both male and female. We come in, you being a teenage mom, over the years, trust me, that right there is a lot to carry. You carry the shame, of the family, you carry the disappointment of your family, the disappointment for you, the disappointment for the teachers who happen to have seen the future that you could have hold. You carry all of that disappointment. Now here's the worst part. Yes, you have it. But do you know that you tell me the word, Father. What's the word when you give somebody something? You transfer all of that to your child, because your child is not coming to the environment of they are happy to see me. They're not coming into the environment of this is the correct time for me to be here. They're coming into an environment of, oh, it's you who happen to it's you. They come into the real into it where the grandparents are disappointed because you came at the wrong time. They come into it where the mom is saying, listen, baby, I love you, but had you shown up 10 years down the line, that would have been a better time. But it's a whole lot of those that we transfer to that child. And do you know that as the children evolve, they keep saying to themselves, well, mommy had me when she was that age. Maybe it's okay. If you go through a line, like go for any family trait, you see the grandmother had the mother at 13. The mother had her child at 13. Then the child has the child it's like the generation just keeps following until you break that. So I love the fact that you were saying that you had to unpack that. Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh.
Yes.
How did all of that, did it have any impact on your children or the youngest children, the oldest children at all?
Well, I would say my oldest daughter, she's been through everything with me because she
Yes.
grew up with me, right? I had her
Mhm.
at 15. So she was raised in the same household. And so she looked at my mom as if it was her mom at time because we were
Yes.
raised in the same household. And
Mhm.
so yeah, it definitely had a major impact, but an impact in a good way. I'll say that because
Good.
she definitely was the first person to break that generational curse because she's 24, no children. Then
Good.
I have a 90-year-old that has no children, and so I have
Woo!
one more that's 12 that hasn't reached the age of when I got pregnant, but she will break that generational curse as well,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But being able to learn from my mistakes and really being able to have strong women in her life to help her
Yes.
navigate through life by breaking that generational curse of,
Yes.
having children at a young age.
I love the way you said that there is a benchmark. I remember TD Jakes said that he was the first one I heard said that. He said his father died in, I think, in his early 40s. Excuse me. So TD Jakes was like, I just need to pass the age that my father passed away. Survive it, survive it, survive it. And he was aiming to just survive that age. And once he
Mhm.
survived that age, to him, he was like, whew, I
It's
made it.
over. Yes,
And people don't understand, but it is true. You really have to have that determination in yourself that I want to super exceed what everybody else went through, and you, unfortunately, I will say it that way, but you were your that action was the action that everybody, you just said it, you're like, okay, she's 12, we want her to just pass that benchmark and we're good, and then we're moving on, because you have that, I want you to pass here that hurdle. Once you pass that hurdle, you could move on to the next one. In
Mhm.
marriage, people call the 5-year mark the hurdle. They say
Mhm.
anybody who good, hi Louis, how are you? Anybody who's passed a 5-year mark, they could survive the rest. That's what we say. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I
I
have
don't know about that. Because
ow.
we just the 10-year mark in the journey.
Yes, I mean, boy, I passed the 5-year mark and I was still trying to say, what, is there another 5-year mark? Because I'm waiting for it to turn around. But but then we all have that hurdle that we run into it, catch our breath, and then run through the next hurdle. So I love the way that you said, yes, these were everybody's benchmark, that 15. And then once we go through, we could see another. Blessings, everybody, blessings. So quick question for you. How did the it all started? How did you find yourself saying healing to live? How did that movement start?
Okay,
Talk
so the
to us.
movement for Healing to Live started in 2020. Actually 2021, actually, that actual part of it. But I started to do my healing work back in 2016. I went to a
Mhm.
therapist. I was like, something needs to shake, right? I
Yes.
don't know how to do this by myself. I had to get over the stigmatism with Black African Americans in therapy, and I went and sat on somebody's couch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
One of
Sit
the
on my couch, baby. Let's talk.
one
Yeah.
of the best decisions ever because she helped me to really look at things from a different perspective,
Yes.
break some things down, had me to understand, asking me questions like why do I respond to things in this manner, right? And
Yes.
breaking that down. And I was dealing with some childhood trauma that I didn't realize I was dealing with, right? Which so many people in their 30s, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond deal with childhood trauma in their adulthood and do not
Yes.
realize that, right? And so helping me to unpack that, and that was in 2016. And so from there, Ladies of Faith Over Fear was created, I want to say, in 2018. But it was created for a different aspect. I created it to help women overcome fear in business. But
Mm-hmm.
God said in 2021, I want you to create a workbook on healing.
Come
And
on.
so that's when the healing aspect came. And I'm like, God, I don't know anything about healing. What are you talking about? How I'm going to create a workbook on healing? And, God had me to reflect on my life, right? What have you been through and what did you do to overcome that? And that was what I was going to do for that portion. And
Yeah.
so I created the workbook. But the heal to live portion came when my mom transitioned and passed away suddenly last year in 2021.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, it's okay. I struggled with it at first when she first passed away because it was very out of nowhere. And so I asked God, I'm like, why did you have to take my mom now? Right? I
Yes.
understand we only here for a certain period of time. I get it, right? But why now? And as God ministered to me, his words were, it was her time to go, but it was your time to operate in purpose.
Mm, mm, mm.
And so, me operating in purpose and him dropping in my spirit to create the workbook and him giving me all the directions on doing the workbook and helping me to produce the workbook, because the workbook was given to me in 2021, in the beginning of 2021, to write. Okay. I started procrastinating on it. I started on it, but I procrastinated, and
Yeah.
life started to happen in June of 2021. The end of June, I'm sorry, July of 2021, my whole family ended up getting sick with COVID. We got sick with COVID. I wasn't worried about writing no workbook, wasn't studying on it. There was the last thing to for me to do, if I could be honest, right? And then we started to feel better, but my mom got sick at the same time. August 1st, my brother took her to the hospital because she started to slur her words and just wasn't her.
Yeah.
We found out she had stage 4 cancer.
Jesus.
She died in 30 days. Okay. I
Jeez.
went to go take care of things at home, go take care of my mom, go do what I could do. Within those 30 days after she passed, funeral, all of those things happened. I came back home. God said, write the workbook. God
Yes.
literally woke me up every single morning at 4 o'clock in the morning to write the workbook. I gave
Yeah.
myself 7 days to write it. I completed it in 4 days because God said, this is what I want you to work on, right? And that's how healing, because not only through that, after everything that I did that's in the workbook, it really helped me to heal in this grieving process and healing so that I can truly live and operate in the purpose that God has called me to operate in.
Yes.
God said it was her time to go, but it was my time to operate in purpose. And so that's how the heal to live came into perspective.
Wow. And w- we were supposed to write that workbook in the beginning of the year. The beginning of the year. You
Mhm.
see, God always calls us to do something and we never see the point of it at the time.
Mhm.
He tells you to do something, you're like, well, I have time. I'll do it another day. I'll do it another day. But do you know, he wants you to do whatever because he knew what was to come.
Absolutely.
He knew what was to come. Oh my God. I cannot begin to imagine, okay, the sudden takeaway of a parent. Today, when I went to the doctors with my youngest son, that's a different conversation all by itself. But today, when I went to the doctors with my youngest son, we were in the wait in one of the the medical rooms waiting, and we saw a parent run down the hall. So my son and I was like, oh, she maybe is going to get water, or something like that. But then she ran back down the hallway, and we're like, oh, okay, didn't take much of it. Then we heard a scream, and this lady was screaming, and my son goes, what do you think it is? And then I saw all the nurses run by. So now I could do two things. I could get my son all jacked up and say, oh my God, something happened. Or I could nicely calm him down because his mind is wandering. So I said, well, maybe the lady's child might have fallen sick and they just needed to pay more attention to that one child. Now, the way the mother screamed, it didn't sound like the child was sick. It sounded like that child had gone to heaven 10 times and she wanted that child back. But the baby fainted because I think they were taking blood and the child didn't want to be awake for that. The child passed out. So, but to the parent, listen, I would have been the one of those to pass out just the same. But the parent in her tunnel vision, she just saw what she saw. You know, and in the spur of the moment, her mind went thinking many things in that time. So you as the daughter, to know you brought your mother in, you know, because of something you considered not to be major, and then to find out something major to the point that she only had this amount of time. Listen, this amount of time to spend with you. It makes you now calculate very quickly the hours we have in a day.
Absolutely. It really gives you a perspective on time, because never in a million years I thought I would be living this time in life without my mom. We were very, very close.
Yes.
And so it was a reminder that time waits for no one. It was a reminder.
One of the ladies just said, yes.
Time don't stand still for no one. And that's the God honest truth.
Yes.
We just wake up and we just assume that we're going to wake. Well, let me take that back. We go to bed at night and we assume that we're going to wake up in the morning, which means tomorrow's not promised. Even the end of the day is not promised.
It's not promised.
So we have to make sure that we take action and stop procrastinating.
Yes.
So it really gave me a shift in stop procrastinating and do it now. I want everything that God has put in my spirit and put for me to produce. It's going to be produced when he calls me home. I will be an empty vessel when he calls me home.
I was just about to say that. Dr. Miles Monroe always said, when you leave this earth, leave empty.
Yes.
Download everything God has for you. Shake it all out. Because
Absolutely.
you don't want to go up and for him to say, well, I gave you 10 and you only made use of 2. What happened? You know?
Come on now.
For those who are now joining us, we are talking with Cheryl. Imagine I was about to say Dr. Cheryl. So baby girl, embrace yourself for that. We are talking with Cheryl, my girlfriend, the CEO of Ladies. Tell me again, Ladies
of Faith Over Fear.
Ladies of
Faith Over Fear.
Yeah, there we go. And we are diving into healing to live. So before we go into how to prioritize your own well-being and create that healthy habit that helps you live happier and a more meaningful life, tell me, what do you think, or why is it important for women to get past all this, the hurts, get past all their traumas? Why do you think it's important for us to heal from that in order for us to move forward?
I think it's important because when you don't heal from the things that have hurt you, you will stay stuck and your mind is truly not expanded and open to receive, because one, you don't feel like you're worthy enough.
Yes.
You don't feel like you're worthy for all the things that God has for you. And so until you truly heal, you will not be open to receive everything or even be able to have the capacity to operate in the full purpose that God has called you to operate in until you heal. Because trauma will keep you stuck, and trauma will keep your mindset sometimes being as a victim mindset instead of truly being able to be in full freedom. So it's important to heal so that you can truly operate in the purpose that God has called you to operate in.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You are right. We do hold ourselves back from going forward. We start to go the woe is me scenario. We start to say, oh, I don't think I'm worthy. You know, how many of us, when God calls us to do something, we go, who, me?
That's what I said, in the beginning. Like, God, who am I? I don't know about healing. What what makes me
we,
qualified.
we tend to choose everybody else. Well, why don't you should have chose this one. This one looks good to do it. This one is good to do it. And we tend to always. Yesterday, somebody told that exact statement to me, and the person said, "I just told you so and so and so." And you go, "Oh no, it's no big deal." And the person said, "I told you the same story with somebody else's name," and you go, "Oh my God, that's great."
Mhm.
So we are always our biggest critic, but until we dive in and heal from those secret things, secret struggles. And the reason why I say secret is because we take whatever that hurt us and we hide it so far behind, behind, and then one day it starts to show up.
Mhm.
It starts to show up, and then you wonder, where did that come from? Well, Cheryl, where did that come from? Why are you saying statements like that? But it is because of that hidden hurt somewhere. Oh, come on now. Now, let us dive into how we could prioritize our own well being and create that healthy habit for ourselves.
Absolutely. So, one, you have to really make the decision that this is something that I want to do, right? You have to be consistent in that thing. You have to make yourself a priority.
Yes.
You have to understand that filling your own cup is important.
Mm.
You got to be able to give to yourself before you give to others, because you can't give from an empty cup.
Oh, come on. Filling your own cup is important. I love it. Yes.
It is very
You cannot give
important.
from an empty cup.
You cannot give from an empty cup. And us as women, we are the main people that do that. We're constantly giving to everybody else and leave what's left over to give to ourselves. And so we have to understand that we've got to give to ourselves first in order to have enough to give to somebody else. I heard an analogy where there's a coffee cup, and then where, you have the saucer, the little plate to go under the cup. A lot of times you should have where your cup is flowing over, where you have enough to go onto the saucer versus you not having anything in your cup.
Yes.
And so that's what creating habits and creating daily routines is going to help you do. So for me, my daily routine and the habits that I've implemented into my life that I really have to be dedicated to and be consistent by,
Dedicated, yes.
and you can start off with small steps, right? In what your daily habits is going to look like. And so first we start off with prayer. Waking up and having an attitude of gratitude in the morning. The first thing I do before anything comes out my mouth, the first thing come out my mouth is thank you, God, for waking me up to see another day, because the day wasn't promised. I thank you, God, for allowing me to have being in my right mind. I thank you, God, for all of my limbs working. I thank you, God, for allowing me to still have the opportunity to operate in purpose. And I speak life over myself. I pray and I have an attitude of gratitude in the morning, thanking my creator for allowing me another opportunity to get it right, right? Being better today than I was yesterday is always the goal. And so prayer is definitely first. Then meditation. I try to meditate every single day. Some days I get it, some days I don't, but I digress, right? But meditation is just sitting still and taking some time to hear from God, not just asking God, God, I need you to do this. God, I need you to do that. But just sitting still, because when you don't sit still and take the time to actually listen and allow God to download in your spirit, you're never going to know what God is telling you to do.
Yes.
When it's so much noise, so much chaos, so much going on, you have to understand you got to sit still and listen to God. So meditating, even if it's for 3 to 5 minutes, right? Now, when I first started meditating, I was like, oh, what is this? Now I'm thinking I'm listening to my thoughts, and it's something that you got to practice, right? But just sitting still, just to listen to God. Then after that, of course, affirmations, continuing to speak life. Not because your words have power.
Yes.
Most people don't understand that. But your words have power. Everything that you say, it manifests in your life. It manifests in your life. So I'm
Listen,
thankful.
the words don't know when you're joking. People say things and they go, oh, I was just joking. The universe is not designed that way. Come on, Cheryl, tell it to them.
It's not. And I love my mom and I never want her to look in a negative light. But being that you said that, I'm going to say this. It doesn't matter how you say it. My mom was joking with my daughter. My daughter was like, Mama, I need you to stop smoking, right? And she said, I'm a smoke until it kills me. And that was what took her out from the years of smoking, the years of the bad habit of smoking, right? And so it's so important to speak the words that you want in your life.
Yes.
And denounce the things that you may have spoken or misspoken, and do not allow people to speak over you. I do not receive what you're saying about my life. It's important when other people speak over your life. But the most important thing is, how do you speak over your life?
Yes.
Do you speak life over yourself, or do you speak death over yourself? You have to understand that. And waking up in the morning, I'm thankful and grateful for waking me up to see another day. But this is my season. This is my turn. I'm so thankful and grateful that I am making $83,333.33 plus a month, because I know that I have a millionaire mantle over my head. Even though it hasn't manifested yet, it will manifest.
It will come to pass.
Those things, right? And so speak it as if it's already here. So affirmations, creating the life that I desire by speaking the words over my life. Okay. So that's part of my daily routine. And you should figure out what it is that you want to see in your life. If you're depressed, speak happy thoughts.
Yes.
Speak life. Speak that I'm in a place of a happy environment always. I'm overjoyed. I'm loved. I'm loved by myself and I'm loved by others, right? You got to speak that thing. Whatever it is that you do not like, speak it. Speak the opposite of it. The things that you want to see, you got to be willing to speak it.
Yes.
The next thing that I would recommend is making sure that you're doing something to put good things into your body, right? So I do health and wellness supplements. I make sure that I'm supplementing my body. I'm 39 going on 40, and natural energy, it don't come like it used to, right?
Natural energy, baby. Sign me up. Where it at? Natural energy.
I know, right? And so that's where the supplements come in. I'm making sure I'm taking my supplements. I'm making sure that I'm juicing, making sure that I'm doing great things and putting great things in my body, right? And then I would say the last thing would be personal development and growth. What are you doing to feed your mindset? What goes in your ear gates and your eye gates is so important.
What comes out? Yes.
It's so important. So really watch what you're watching on TV. Watch what you're listening to on the radio. Watch what podcasts you're watching. If it's not pouring into your spirit, if it's not speaking life into your situation,
keep it moving,
baby. Elevating your mindset, elevate your thinking so you can elevate your life. You're only going to go as far as you see yourself and the knowledge that you have. So personal growth and development, all of those things are just some of the things to help you create a healthy, holistic lifestyle. And I would say the last one two more. I'm lying. Because I got my notes because I want to make sure I touch on everything, right?
Keep going.
Journaling would be another one, because you have to, those bad things that you have inside, you got to release those things.
Yes.
You have to release those things. So get you a journal, write those things down. Nobody have to read those journals. You don't even have to go back and read them, but it's the principle of getting it out. Some people have some things that happened to them when it was 5, 10, 15, 20, and never told us.
They're still holding on to the memory of it.
Still holding on to it. So take the time to actually write it out. And when you write it out, tap into those emotions.
Yes.
Go to that place so that you can go to that place for that last time and leave it in the journal. And then the last thing I would say would be exercising. For me, is one of the things that I enjoy. I enjoy it because it helps me to just focus. It helps me to work on my physical vessel, because if I'm not physically fit, I will not be able to truly do everything that God has called me to do, because I'm broken down, I'm busted and disgusted. But I want to be able to be healthy, whole, in truly operating in the full purpose that God has called me to operate in.
I love that. I love all the points you gave us for priority. And I will summarize it and say, because you gave us like 200. So I'll summarize it and say our mindset, praise God for the summary, our physical body, hey, and to make sure we take out what doesn't belong our inside in terms of it as a memory. Because when we hold on to those past memories, every time you speak to somebody, they tell you, girl, I remember when I was 2. Girl, I remember when I was 3. Yeah, but then what are you doing about that memory? Let us take it out and let us download into our mindset the positive things. The word of God says, think on things that are pure, kind, and of good report. That's the things we're supposed to spend our mind and our energy thinking on. He never said to hold on to your traumas. He never said to hold on to your mistakes. He said, listen, think on things that are kind and good report. Yes, I love the way you said to take the time and make up in your mind, this is what you want to do. Nobody could help you to get there unless you decide to yourself. Self, I love to call self. Self has to agree to move on, move on with you. Because if not, self is going to be sitting down there and the woe is me and you trying to move forward. You gotta agree with yourself that we need to take the step forward. It doesn't matter what somebody calls you. People say things to you all the time. The only thing that matters is what you say to yourself and what you respond to.
Absolutely.
Was it Medea in one of the little shows that say everybody will call you names, baby, but it's what you answer.
Respond to. Come on now.
So it all comes down to what somebody says to you, how you are going to respond to it. You could stick around with that person that's negative and talking negative over your life every day, or you could say, you know what, baby, no offense. You and I can't work it out because you are not on the same wavelength with me anymore. And it's okay. It's okay to evolve out of that relationship. But if you are not there with me to build me up the way I build you up, we have a major problem. I love it. I love it. What did I want to say? Thank you for words. And you are welcome. Yes, you poured out a lot of gems. You poured out a lot of things that food for thought, one would say, because we all go through our struggles. And one of the things you said was you decided you needed help. And you chose to go and see a therapist for that. We in the African American community, we are so skeptical about. We don't go to people and listen. God help us if we go to the doctor.
Come on now.
You have to be really down and out to even go to the doctor. But no, you have to put yourself as priority. You really do. And it's not from a selfish standpoint, like I was saying to somebody earlier on today. It's not from a selfish standpoint. You as the woman, you as the mother, you as the wife, you as the daughter, the sister, you cannot give anybody anything if you don't have the excess to give to them.
Come on now.
You're not giving them from your reservoir. You have to give. What you give to people is your excess.
Yep.
If you don't have the excess to give to them, you can't give. Because when you give from your reservoir, your own what do you call that, barrel of energy, your own barrel of wealth, your own barrel, when you give it to them, tell me who's giving to you. That's where we get upset. You never hear people say, I give so much and these people not even giving back to me, because you were giving out from your barrel.
And not your excess.
So that's the point when they don't give back to you, because trust me, the places you sow is not the person who's going to sow back to you.
Come on now.
You sow over there and your reaping comes over on the next side, a whole lot greater. We always tend to look at the same people who we sow into. But the people we sow into is not who's going to turn around and bless us. That's just how the world goes around, baby. But what I've learned from what you said to me today is I gotta take care of me. I gotta put me first. You know, they say you can't put the mask on everybody else without putting it on you first.
Come
Take
on
care
now.
of you first. Baby, you've poured into us and given us such food for thought onto how to deal with traumas and what we should do and how we could heal to live on purpose.
Mhm.
How we could heal to live on purpose. So, ladies, I don't like to end my broadcast without saying thank you to our lovely guests. Thank you for joining us in the Royal Courts. The Royal Courts is always, listen, it's always buzzing with interesting topics. The Royal Courts is always buzzing with some interesting topics. And today was no short of that, Cheryl. So thank you so much for joining us. Ladies, as I close, yes, at least the ladies are saying thank you. Yes, she did a fantastic job for pouring into us today. I pray that this episode was a blessing to you. And as always, thank you for joining. Thank you for showing up. But before you leave, I want you, Miss Cheryl, to tell us how we could be in contact with you, what is going on in your world. Let the ladies know.
Absolutely. So you can always follow me on social media. On Facebook, my name is Cheryl Mazique. My business company name is Ladies of Faith Over Fear on both Facebook and Instagram. And if you're an Instagrammer, you can follow me at _Cheryl Mazique. But I really want you guys to understand that you have to be willing to do something different in order to get some different results. If you want your 2023 to look totally different than 2022, 2019, the last 5 years, then you have to make the decision to do something different. And I want to help you to do that. Ladies of Faith Over Fear is presenting a conference that's called Healed to Live. It's going to be March the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th of 2023. Get your ticket, you guys. I will be there. Plus, I will have some beautiful sisters that's going to help in different areas. A spiritual coach, another healing coach, a financial coach, and a business transformational coach, and then an walking in your authentic self, purpose-driven life coach will be at the conference to help you heal so that you can fully, can I talk right? Heal so that you can fully live in the life and the purpose that God has called you to live in. So make sure you get your tickets. That website is healedtoliveconference.com. I'll make sure I put it in the comments.
Yes, make sure you put it in the comments so that way the ladies can have it.
Get your ticket. We have full pay tickets. We have tickets where you can do payment plan option. You can also vendor and you can be a sponsor. And if you feel like, hey, I've done all the healing that I need to heal, but you know a woman in your life that really needs to be able to get over that thing that has hurt them, sponsor them to come to the conference. But every woman still needs to be at this conference, right? So you can come and sponsor a ticket for somebody else. But get to the conference. Do not let another year go by and you be in the same place where you are now.
Carrying the
I am
burdens
speaking to your spirit. That is not just by coincidence. God is saying, I need you to heal so that you can do what I've called you to do. Get your ticket. But that's how you guys can contact me, and I would love to help you along your healing journey.
Thank you. We say thank you. Thank you for stopping by the Royal Courts and having some tea with us. Thank you for pouring into us. We are definitely going to look forward to that link. Put the link in the chat so that way the ladies could check it out. And we just want to say thank you for joining us today. It is a pleasure to have you all in the Royal Courts. Excuse me. And thank you, Miss Cheryl. I'm going to put you in the waiting room. We call it in the lounge. So you could go into the lounge and have some tea, and then we're going to come back with you. Yes. So ladies, it was great. It was a fantastic chat today. Today was all about healing to live. And we looked at it from a holistic standpoint. You know, how we now have to make up in our minds what direction we want to take. If we want to keep sitting and looking at life from a rearview mirror, or if we want to keep looking forward as God has ordained us to. So we would love to hear from you. If you're listening to us on any of our platforms like Apple or Pandora or iHeartRadio, leave us a comment to let us know how this has been a blessing to you. And next week we have the honor and pleasure of having Nicole Mays Jackson, the CEO of One Care Premier Service and One Care Premier Medical Supply. She's going to pop in, and you know what we do? We chat about everything concerning women for our faith, family, and finances. So it will be no different from this one. I know for sure it's going to be powerful. And for the ladies, before we close our broadcast, for the ladies who desire to have visibility opportunities, you could definitely send us a quick email, info@portiabasham.com, if you wish to be our featured guest on this podcast, the RoyalTea Talk Podcast, or if you want to be a guest speaker on our She Ministries TV show. And go ahead and shoot us an email to let us know that you'd like to definitely take advantage of that. For those who have joined us, thank you so much for joining us in the Royal Courts. It's been a pleasure. We also open the doors for ads. If you have a business or conference coming up and you want to put together a 5-second ad just so that everybody could know that your conference is coming up, we could help you put those ads together. But then you also get to advertise it right here on the She TV talk show. So I am super excited to have that avenue available to all the women who are doing business ventures just the same. So without further ado, I want to thank you for joining me in the Royal Courts. The RoyalTea Talk Show is super excited to have you join us. Until then, I am your host, Lady Portia Basham. And don't forget, you are saved, highly favored to do what God has called you to do in such a time as this. So you be blessed, and I will see you next Friday right here on the RoyalTea Talk Show. Take care.
Thanks for tuning in to the RoyalTea Talk Show with your host, Portia Basham, the talk show and podcast designed for women who are looking to be inspired, motivated, and encouraged. We pray today's show was a blessing to you. Remember to tune in next time for your regular dose of encouragement and affirmation, so you can hear from other amazing women from all walks of life who share their stories and advice on everything from personal growth to living their dreams. So until next time, we look forward to seeing you to sip some tea, chat,